You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hey, this is John Preston, Marine Combat Veteran and Pacific Records recording artist. Just reaching out to have you check out our new album, Battle Cry, Songs of America's Heroes, an album featuring phenomenal other combat veteran artists like Scott Brown of the Scooter Brown Band, Ryan Weaver, Rowdy Johnson, just an incredible mix of people. This is all veterans telling our stories and our lives, and we're giving 100% of our proceeds to the Valkyrie Initiative to help veterans and first responders integrate back into society. I myself have battled with post-traumatic stress for many years and lost my own brother, a Marine Corps veteran, to suicide. I ask that you step with us and make this happen. We are in pre-order right now and release on March 17th. Go to iTunes, go to Amazon, buy. We plan on making the charts and making it at a very high level, and your support right now makes a difference. This is the release of my new song, Superman Falls, which is actually about the loss of my own brother, which happened last year, and I would love for everyone to check it out, to listen, and hopefully it'll make a difference in many lives.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 687.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
Get your free inventor's information. Call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies with your host, Jason Marshall.
Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies. I'm your host, Jason Marshall. We got a great show lined up for you. That'll be out in about a month or so. This week we got Andy Bowman. We've done a few bar shows together.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Over at the New Chapter.
Mm-hmm.
How's it going, man?
Oh, it's going. Hanging in there.
Good.
Trying.
So how long have you been doing comedy now?
It was a year this March 17th.
Okay. I think we talked about your first show and stuff like that on the radio.
Yeah.
People can look for that in the archives. It's called The Life Ice Cream Bicycle. We named it after the ice cream bicycle that you had. We talked about that too.
I own it.
Yeah?
It's mine.
Can't beat that. Have you sold ice cream out of it yet?
No, it still has the bubble wrap on it.
Okay.
But the opportunity's there.
Well, what was the worst show that you've done so far? As far as like everything surrounding it, I guess if you want to talk about bombing, that's fine too.
It's hard to pick just one because there's so many. But I think one of the ones where I just didn't have anything planned. I'm not sure. There's one that sticks out in my mind. Mm-hmm. It's the one where after everything went down in Columbus, I decided to come back heroically because I wasn't going to let them,
What happened in Columbus? I don't know if we talked about that.
Well, from my perspective, what I remember is I got invited from a group of other comedians to go up to Columbus. It was me and my one friend, Mike, who's not a comedian. He just was coming to hang out with us. Mm-hmm. We were following him. And then halfway there, they called me to tell me they have to stop to get gas and use the bathroom. So we get off. And then when we get back on, I'd like to think they didn't floor it and leave me, but it certainly felt that way.
Really?
Yeah. And I've never been to like downtown Columbus before. It's like I've been to the suburbs where my aunt lives, but never downtown. Mm-hmm. I thought it would be a good idea if we just got out and walked to try to find the club for Margio's. That should tell you right there. It wasn't the night was going to be bad if we're trying to get to a club called for Margio's, but we got out, asked 3 or 4 people if they knew how to get there. No one did. By the time we got there, we were already an hour late. And then I just told everyone there to go fuck themselves because I was so upset. Long story short, after I told them that, me and Mike just went kind of like bar hopping, walking around Columbus. But then when we went to go find our car, we couldn't find it. This was already at like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. We walked around for another 4 hours.
Holy shit.
In
4
downtown
hours?
Columbus. And what happened was I thought it would be a bright idea if you know how like on college campuses they have those booths, kind of look like phone booths.
Yeah.
But you're really only supposed to push them if you're getting raped. Yeah. Well, I pushed it. I didn't realize what would happen. Within 10, 15 seconds, 4 or 5 cop cars came swarming around us, asked us what was going on. And then here's the messed up part is when I told them what happened as far as us never being into the city, we couldn't remember where we parked our car. They started making fun of me and saying, dude, where's my car? Like 2 or 3 cops just like repeating that, dude, where's my car? But what happened was they finally got to the point where didn't cuff us or anything, put us in the back of their cop car, drove us around downtown Columbus for 15 minutes until we found where I parked my car, let us go, said, have a good night. We thanked them for taking us. We get in our car, drive. Not a minute later, 2 different cops pull us over.
Oh, shit.
Make me take a field sobriety test. I only blow a .02. The legal limit in Ohio is .08. I wasn't drunk. They tried to say I was on other drugs, take me to the hospital to take a blood test, and I refused. And then I had to spend 3 days in the Columbus, Franklin County Monroe.
Wow.
jail.
That's a hell of a story.
Yeah.
I'm glad I followed up on that one.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my first week in comedies. That set the pace for everything after that.
Man, so it can only get better, right?
Yeah. Because that wasn't my first time in a correctional institute. I'd come prepared.
I was watching Gotham Comedy Live, and David Hasselhoff was the guest host, and he sucked ass. All he talked about was his TV show that was out right now and how he should go check it out. And he started reading jokes that he found on Google while he was up on stage. And then he asked if anybody in the crowd had a joke and brought them up so they could tell the joke. And then he just introduced the comics, and that was it. It was the worst.
Sounds, yeah.
I don't think you should expect much out of him anyway. I just thought it was kind of a strange choice to have him hosting. And then when I found out his TV show was on the network, it kind of made sense. It's Access TV. Kenny Bolin, a former guest of the show, his friend Mark Cuban owns the network. And you quickly found out it was nothing more than a plug.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
That's one of the most frustrating things for me, I think, as a person and as a comedian, is to fully understand this has very little to do with how funny you are. Very little. Maybe 10%, if you're lucky, is whether or not you actually make people laugh. The other 90% is whose dick you've been sucking and ass you've been kissing, because that will get you a lot farther than making people laugh. I still have to grasp that sometimes, because I put a lot of energy into just making people laugh, and I forget that I have to have people like me.
That is true. You don't believe that, ask Father Time.
Yeah. He got really far, and it was like, I think after 2 months I saw him, I was surprised, because it's like, you're not supposed to be getting better. Mm-hmm. Like, why are you funnier than when I first saw you?
Was that you that asked on Facebook if he died or something?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
It seemed appropriate. I mean...
Yeah, he just dropped off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
I mean, for a long time, he was constantly posting on Facebook, especially on other people's walls.
Right.
And then just nothing for months. It is kind of strange.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Condolences.
Me and you went to a show at the Funny Bone. That was the first time I ever met you.
Mm-hmm.
It was to see Chris Porter.
Yep.
Who's really funny. And it was me, Gary Henry, Colin Brunn, I think Gary's wife and sister. And we were there checking out the show.
Yeah.
And you passed out. I think it was during the feature act or something.
Sounds about right.
All these people came out asking us to wake you up, and we couldn't wake you up. And then one of the bouncers came up and said something. That was the first time I met you. So I was like, who is that guy? And I went and I checked out your Facebook page, and there was a post saying that you were going to a comedy club for the first time.
That was the first and last time I was ever invited by someone.
I felt bad because it was your first time there and you didn't really see anything. I think we had a couple of wings or something. That was the end of it.
That was the best one I've ever been to.
Chris is a really, really funny guy. Every time he's in the area, I go check him out.
Yeah. Certain people like that make you want to go see him.
Yeah. Have you seen any of his specials?
Maybe one, but I don't remember seeing any. I just know the name.
Yeah, he's got a couple on Netflix. Everybody should check him out. Mm-hmm. Chris Porter, Ugly and Angry, I think was his first one, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And that was back when he had this big afro and everything. It was great.
Yeah, if you don't know the name, you'll definitely know the face.
Oh, yeah. Last time you were on the show, we talked to you about your ice cream bicycle. That was a cool topic. We're still going to try to help you sell that.
I appreciate it, because I need all the help I can get.
Summer's coming up, man. Somebody can use it.
I thought about calling to, like, UDF, Young Jersey's Dairy, just asking them, are you in the market for an ice cream bike? Because I got one. Like, I don't know who else would buy it.
Yeah. Just ride around the neighborhood with a couple of pints in there and see what happens. It doesn't have to be pints of ice cream. Which leads me to my next question. Since you were on the radio show, I was going to see if you wanted to do it again on April 20th for no particular reason. Just happens to be the date.
Good day.
Are you up for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the first time we booked a show live on the podcast.
Nice.
Mama Kate's going to be on that show. I don't know if you've met her. She's really funny.
I met her once. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good lady, man. She's been on the show a few times.
That's cool.
Yeah, that'll be a hell of a radio show. You and Mama Kate, man. Can't beat that. Okay, I got a question from the last guest.
Okay.
Do you prefer pizza or the Rolling Stones?
Pizza.
Yeah, I don't know how anybody could choose the Rolling Stones over pizza. I like the Rolling Stones. Got a few of their songs. Nothing against them. They were old before, I got into it, but I can appreciate the music. Compare that to pizza.
I think the Rolling Stones are kind of overrated. Yeah, Mick Jagger.
That motherfucker, I don't know how he's lived so long.
When you got the money.
Fun fact for the week. We all know Coca-Cola used to have cocaine in it, but it was also originally green. You can talk about that at work if you want to, or don't. It's either way's fine with me. I don't give a shit. All right. Well, we're going to go to break real quick and have some Bulletproof coffee. If you want Bulletproof coffee or don't know what I'm talking about, check out bulletproof.com. It's really good stuff, and we'll be back.
Here's Frankie McDonald with a severe weather warning from last week.
This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Massive blizzard is headed towards Maine on Monday, March the 21st, 2016. It's going to bring out to 30 plus centimeters or so, which is around 12 inches of snow. Winds are going to be very strong, gusts up to 100 kilometers per hour, especially on the coastal areas of Maine. Streets, roads, highways, and interstate highways will be snow covered as well. People in Maine, be prepared. Have your winter boots ready, winter jackets ready, hats, gloves, scarf, and ski pants is ready. Do your grocery shopping. Don't wait till last minute. Do it right now. When you drive the car, take your time, drive the car, slow down, so you don't get in car accidents. When you go for a walk, be very careful walking, so you don't slip and fall. Drink lots of green to keep you warm. Have your furnaces ready and turn on your furnaces to keep those warm. Make sure you have your shovels, snow scoops, snowboards, snow plows, and salt trucks ready as well. Make sure to stay away from the beaches and don't go near the shores. Be prepared for massive blizzard on Monday, March 21st, 2016. Take care, stay safe.
And now, an angry Dalai Lama tweet.
We will only create a more peaceful and harmonious world if we adopt a peaceful approach and engage openly in dialogue. Now shut up!
Want to contact the show? Send an email to jason@wedon'thavecookies.com.
All right, we're back. You can also leave a voicemail for the show by calling 929-266-WDHC. That's 929-266-9342. And you can check out Mark's segments from last week where he was doing the impersonation of Batman on the website. Just go to wedon'thavecookies.com and you can see that. Got a few weird days coming up. Wednesday, April 6th is Sorry Charlie Day. Thursday, April 7th is No Housework Day. And Sunday, April 10th is National Siblings Day. You got a brother, right?
One.
There you go.
Younger, 3 years.
You'll have to hang out this Sunday.
Yeah.
That'll be a fun day. I don't know if you really want to get into this. It was on Facebook, so I think you're all right with that. One of the reasons I asked you to do the 420 show is I seen a Facebook post about you getting high with your grandma.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty sweet.
It's not as fun as it sounds. It really isn't. It's not.
What'd you guys do?
We just went into the garage and got really high, and then she came back in and made a bunch of pot of coffees, and we watched HGTV, and that was it.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Was that the first time, or?
No.
Okay.
No, yeah. She introduced me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sweet. Sounds like a cool lady.
And everything.
Yeah, that sounded like a lot of fun, so I wasn't sure.
It's the fun the first couple times, but then after that, it's just like getting high with anyone else who's really annoying. Like, you know, it doesn't matter that it's your grandma. She's still annoying.
Well, you had another arrest story we were going to talk about.
Right.
And you used to be part of the Mormon church. That kind of leads into it, if it's the same one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it is. It's intertwined. You can't tell one without the other. But what happened is when I was 16, neighbors down the street, they were Mormon. We were friends with their kids. That's how we got introduced to the Mormon church, playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was 16, I made, my whole family actually made the decision to officially join the Mormon church, and we were Mormon. And it was good for, the first year or two. I had a lot of fun. It was fun.
I got a standard question I'm sure everybody's asked anybody who's Mormon. But,
yeah.
And you probably know where I'm going with this, but they say only a certain amount of people can go to heaven. Yeah. Or am I thinking of a different religion?
Well, I know that Jehovah's Witnesses, they literally believe that only 100,000 and 140,000 people can get into heaven.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of.
Yeah. That's them, but
okay.
Mormons are pretty strict too.
Yeah, I had that completely confused with Jehovah's Witness, because I was going to ask why you guys go around evangelizing and trying to get more people when there's limited room.
Yeah.
Because the more people that get into the religion, that's kind of a hard sell.
Yeah.
You might get lucky.
You got to play it to win it.
So if you're a Jehovah's Witness, we'd love to have you on the show, because I got a lot of questions about that.
Me too.
All right, go ahead with your story, man. Sorry.
Well, there's actually... Just to verify and validate, if you can search up a video on YouTube, there's 2 parts, actually 2 videos, but the first one's called Andy Bowman's Sweet Mission Escape Part 1. And that was within 6 months of me getting home from my mission that I made that YouTube video. So you can go and check the date. That was happening like 2012, 2013. But
I'll have a link to that in the show notes too, if anybody's interested.
Perfect. Yeah. When I joined when I was 16, I've only had limited experiences with the religion itself and then the people that I knew in Dayton. Mm-hmm. Like I haven't had any other experiences outside of that. So when I went on my mission, of all places, I went to Utah, St. George, Utah, right on the border of Arizona. But that's where I got sent. When I actively had to try to get other people to believe in what I believed, that made me reevaluate it and kind of step back and look at it. I just knew I was lying to people flat out. I knew that for a long time, probably about a year before I went on my mission, but I didn't want to admit it to myself. So much of my personality and friends and identity was wrapped around the Mormon church that it was kind of hard for me just to leave.
How long were you involved until you went to Utah?
Joined when I was 2 weeks before I turned 16, and you have to be 19 to go on a mission. So It was 3 years.
Did they send you there, or did you have to use your own money? How's that work?
Yeah, that's a good question. What happens is the expense of a mission for 2 years is roughly like $10,000 to $12,000. So you're expected to save up that much money.
Oh, wow. So it's all on you.
Yeah. They don't,
Damn.
The church doesn't help at all.
Looks like they'd have a bake sale or something for you.
You would think. But no. If like you're genuinely don't have the means to pay, they will help you. But at the end of the day, they still expect you to raise as much money on your own as you can.
Is it typically asked of people around that age, or is it just any age can do that?
3 years ago, when I was Mormon, the age was 19. They flat out told you, if you don't go on a mission, you're not going to be as happy and have a fulfilling life as other people who went on missions. And
that's a lot of money to ask a 19-year-old to just come up with to do a mission for them.
Yeah, it is.
How long did it take you to save that?
2 years. I started working when I was like probably 17, 18, and I only had $6,000 saved up, and my mom was going to help make up for the rest of it. Okay. So
this is a weird question, but did you have a car or anything, or did you just solely save your money just for this trip? Or because I know a lot of people that age, they save to get their first car or something along those lines, and that's.
I was fortunate enough to where it just happened at the time that when I got my driver's license, it was time for my mom to get a new car because we live in Dayton and she works in Cincinnati. She puts a lot of miles on her car very, very fast, and she let me have her old car so she could get a newer one. I ended up crashing it into a parked car and totaling it like 2 months after she gave it to me.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. I was taking someone home from church, and it was November, right when the windshields would start to get frosty. And I just didn't think anything of it and didn't let my windows get defrosted enough. So when I was driving down the road, I just didn't see that. It was the roads that are wide enough to where people still park on left and right sides because they don't have enough room in their driveway. And I didn't step on the brakes, nothing, because I didn't see it. Just bam, right into the back of a parked car.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
So you ended up going to Utah, and you flew there, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a long-ass drive from Dayton.
Yeah. Part of that $10,000 is your plane ticket and everything. The way it works is your first month is you go to the headquarters of the church in Salt Lake, and you're on what's called the MTC. It's the Missionary Training Center. If you learn a second language, you have to spend like 2 or 3 months there. But if you're just speaking English, you only have to spend a month. From the moment you wake up, you have like 30 minutes to take a shower, and then you're just in classrooms every day besides lunch and dinner until you go to bed, learning how to teach people Mormonism.
Wow.
Yeah. And I actually brought a letter. I'll have Jason read it. This was from the MTC. I wrote it to my dad and my stepmom. You can see the date on it and everything. Do you want to read some of it, or
yeah, sure.
Please skim over it? You can see where my mindset was, because I was still trying to believe in it all because I was told I should.
Mm-hmm.
But that was before yeah.
Okay. It says, "Dear Dad," I don't want to read the other name.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. "Dear Dad and Karen, things are better since I've gotten settled in. I'm still having a lot of fun. I got to go to temple today, which was peaceful. They fed us so much food here. You can have as much as you want, and they usually have 2 or 3 things to choose from. Also, once a week, what kind of food did they have for you?"
Cafeteria style food, because they have like close to 2,000 missionaries staying there at a time.
Wow. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So it's a full-on training center.
Yeah. No matter where you're going in the entire world, you have to go there first to get trained as a missionary, get used to waking up early every day. It's really strict. No TV. You can only call your parents twice a year on Christmas and Mother's Day. Yeah.
But no Father's Day?
No Father's Day. Obviously
that
not.
Seems like important. An oversight. Okay. Also, once a week, they have an ice cream buffet. Which sounds pretty awesome. Is it like an ice cream sundae thing, or you just get scoops? I don't know. They seem kind of strict. So
waffle cones, anything you can want. Yeah.
So far seems worth it.
Yes, was.
All the ice. I guess I should have read a little further. All the ice cream and all the toppings you could ever want. I usually get 2 bowls. So you're a bowl guy, not a cone guy.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much about the Savior, Dad. My teachers are awesome. Almost 90% of my day is spent studying, the other 5% sleeping, and the other 5% eating. Well, maybe not exactly, but it feels like it. Time goes by quick when you're serving others. How are things going with Karen? I hope she is getting better. How is Matt doing in baseball? I'm assuming that's your brother?
Right.
Is the big goofy kid still playing? Anyway, I can't wait to hear from you. I love and miss you a lot, Dad. I miss hearing your stories. I love you, and I think about you a lot. Love, Elder Andy Bowman.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you had a title.
Yeah.
It's a good deal. And that was June 11th, 2012. That was a good letter.
Yeah. After that is when things went south, because I was out of the cushy MTC and actually trying to get people to believe what I believed.
What were the facilities like there? I mean, was it I can't even fathom it. Just like a big center with almost like hotels, sort of like different rooms just sectioned off for everybody, or did you have to bunk with somebody, or how's that work?
Yeah, that's a good question. It was, imagine just like dorms for a college university. I think there was two or 3 sets of bunk beds in each rooms. You had like you and your companion, the guy you have to spend all the time with, and then 2 other sets of missionaries.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, there was showers for everyone and a gymnasium and different auditoriums, but mainly just classrooms.
How do they pick your companion?
The way that you're told it works is when you feel...
I like how you put that.
is when you...
It does seem like there's a lot of bullshit going on. No offense to anybody who's a Mormon. It's just,
You got to be told sometimes. You do. When you fill out your paperwork, one of the things about Mormonism is they believe that there's a literal prophet on the earth that, just like Abraham or Peter, that prays to God and receives revelation for what the church members should do and how they should conduct their lives.
Mm-hmm.
You're told that when you fill out your paperwork, it gets sent to him. He prays about it and receives quote unquote revelation. A little just tidbit of history about Mormonism. And I think it was the year was 1813, 1812, somewhere around then, early 1800s. The founder of the Mormon Church, Joseph Smith, at the time was really confused upon which religion he should join himself.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to the woods in Palmyra, New York. I taught this. I know where he was. That's where he was.
It looks like that's where the center would be.
Yeah.
Not to get sidetracked, but how did all this end up in Salt Lake? It's kind of a out of the way place, just cheap land or what?
They kept getting persecuted from people who didn't want a sex offender in their community, so they persecuted him, and they just they went from Palmyra, New York to, the very first temple which if you don't know what a Mormon temple is, it's where you have to like pay your tithing, be a good member, do everything you're supposed to, and then you get to go to the temple. But that's kind of like where you learn more about God. What they really teach you flat out is just the 4 secret handshakes to get into heaven. Because I guess when you die, Jesus asks you a certain amount of questions, like what is the first sign of the Melchizedek priesthood? And you have to show him a secret handshake, and there's 4 of them. And if you don't know those, you can't get into heaven. But that's what you learn at the temple, is those types of things.
Do you know the handshakes?
I do.
So no matter what, you're good now.
Yeah. That's
nice.
One of the benefits.
Have you thought about making YouTube videos with these handshakes just so everybody kind of knows the secret and now we're all good no matter what?
I have, because I still have my temple clothes. Like, you have to wear a white robe with like a green slash and a white pants. That's clothes you have to wear. So I kept those.
So you have to wear that to do the handshakes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So there might be a run on clothes.
Yeah. And the funny thing about the Mormon church is that this is one of the things I experienced when I got outside of my own community that made me kind of realize that this isn't right. When I got to Utah, there's so many Mormons there that some of them don't have their own temple clothes. Mm-hmm. So when you walk into the temple, you can go to like a booth and rent temple clothes. Like you can pay someone money in a temple, which is what Jesus flipped over all those tables for and started whipping people for, is charging people money inside the temple. People notice that. They know it doesn't make any sense, but if your whole family, if your whole livelihood, if your whole identity is built into this religion, if it's the only thing you ever know, it's very easy to overlook those types of things because you don't want to upset your mom and dad. I was fortunate enough to where I wasn't born into the Mormon church. I was joined by my own accord, because there's people who, when they're born into it and their great, everyone in their family's Mormon, for them to leave a mission early or to not even go on one, better not have to ever ask your parents for help again because
you're just ostracized.
Yeah. And that's how they kind of control people. And
that's fascinating.
It is. Yeah.
Hopefully everybody else is just as interested because we're not talking about anything else for a little bit.
Yeah. How that ties into my first stay in the correctional institution of Darke County, Ohio, is this was probably about 6 months to a year before I left on my mission, before I turned 19. One of my friends in the Mormon church, named TJ Hughes, still my best friend to today. If you're a Mormon, you're supposed to do so many hours of community service a month. And we decided that it would be a good idea to just go to random members and sing them hymns on a Sunday. So what we did was
What were these hymns?
Just like, I am a child of God, and he has sent me here. You know, just church hymns. Nothing unusual. We took the ward roster, which is, in Mormonism, there's people who are active, people who go to church, just like any religion, and people who don't. But with the ward roster, you get every single person who's ever been Mormon for the past 30 years. Like, it doesn't matter when's the last time they've been to church. So what I did was I literally grabbed the paper, just flipped to a random page, closed my eyes, scrolled my finger up and down, and I told TJ to tell me when to stop. And he yelled, stop. And the name we stopped to was Jennifer Kennedy. So we went to the address, you know, as soon as we got out of the car, you could just hear drums, guitars. Someone was having a band practice, death metal music. And it was just, we knocked on their door. Keep in mind, we're wearing our white shirts and ties because we just got done with church. And when we open up the door, the smell of cannabis knocks us over. We could just imagine 2 Mormon boys wearing white shirts and ties, trying to sing people's hymns on a Sunday afternoon, getting steamrolled with.
Did you know what the smell was at the time, or you've already been?
Yeah, I joined when I was 16, so I've had limited experiences. My grandma, everything about her. But we spoke to Jennifer Kennedy's husband named Jeff Strong, and we told him what we were up to, and he had us sing him a hymn for him and all his band members. And then he said, you know,
what was their reaction while you're doing this? Were they respectful, or were they laughing because they were stoned, or how'd that go?
They were respectful. I think just due to part.
They knew that you traveled all that way to do this, so they were just kind of cool with it. And
yeah, that, and it wasn't. Jennifer Kennedy's husband, first time being around missionaries because of her being a member at certain points in her life. So he knew what we were all about. Just sing your hymn and get on with your day, pretty much. But he told us this was his rental property. If we drove down the street a couple miles, we could get to where their real house was, where Jennifer Kennedy was. We went there, for lack of better terms. Jennifer Kennedy is autistic, bipolar type 1, paranoid schizophrenia. She's out there as far as mental illness is concerned. But I took a liking to her. But she makes these puff quilts for people, which are pretty cool. I wish you guys could see it, but it's on the radio. She hand sews these, Jason. Hand sews them. And she made this for me. I thought of her as a sister. But long story short, what ended up happening is after I became friends with them, I got to know her and her husband a little bit better. Let's put it this way. If you buy marijuana in Dayton, it touches his hands at one point or another.
Wow.
So
I should probably bleep these names.
Yeah.
Just in case.
They're already made up. They're not real names. Maybe. Who knows? You tell me. I don't know if how many of you are at home are familiar with the Silk Road or any kind of black market, dark market websites where you have to download a bunch of special stuff onto your computer, and then you can buy anything you've ever imagined or ever wanted.
Silk Road was a big deal for a long time. You could get anything. I mean, you could get anything from just buying some pot to a hitman. I mean, it was a crazy black market site.
Yeah. They shut that one, the official Silk Road market, down, but there's still...
like 2011-ish or so?
Yeah.
Maybe 2012. Because I remember when they shut it down and I couldn't get any pot for a while.
Yeah. It's really cool because the mailman just leaves it at your door. I mean, it's very sophisticated. It sounds kind of sketchy, but when you realize that the United States Postal Office sorts upwards of 1 billion packages in a week, it's one of the safest ways ever to really buy drugs is through the mail. But he was my connection. He knew everybody in Dayton to get it rid to. I had the way of getting it. I was pretty much his bitch. We got it shipped to my house with my name on it. So if things ever went south, he was clean.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening is I got to the point where one day I just told him, that person must have ripped us off because the package never came. I'm sorry, but the package, we're fucked. The package never came. But it did come, of course. I lied. And my plan was I was going to take that pound of weed, which I got for free, go to Greenville, which is some Boduck fucking hippie, a population 5,000 people maybe. I was going to get rid of it, dump it off, and then take that money to move to Florida. That was on a Friday. I drove to Greenville. I turned right, and a cop gets behind me, pulls me over.
What did he pull you over for?
He said I didn't use my turn signal, so...
Pretty lame.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But here's how my mind... I don't know if it was just because I was fed up, I was just tired. I was maybe looking for this to happen in a way, but he came up to me and said I didn't use my turn signal, went through the whole stop procedure, and then he said, have you smoking any marijuana tonight? And I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, have you taken any pills? And I'm like, no. And then he was like, well, how much weed do you have in the car? And I was like, I literally, after he asked that, I said, I have a pound in my book bag in the back seat.
Shit. Holy
I was thinking that he would just throw it away. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I thought that if he pulled me over like that, he already knew for some reason. That's what I was thinking. But I don't think he did. I think he just got lucky. Really, really lucky.
Wow.
So after I say that, he immediately tells me to get out of the car, starts frisking me, all the usual stuff. Another cop car pulls up. He asks me why I have it again. He was surprised that I told him exactly.
I am too.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I was like, oh God, I don't know.
That's the biggest thing that ever happened in that town.
Yeah. They took it out, put it on the hood of the car, took a bunch of pictures of it, and I spent a week in the Darke County jail. And if you don't believe that, you can go to Busted in Darke County Facebook page, and you can see my mugshot. It's on there. It's been on there for the past 3 years.
I'll try to put a link to that, too.
Yeah, there's a lot of links for today. It's just show and tell more than anything.
Holy shit, man. Did they just tear up your car looking for more, figuring if you just copped to that, there had to be shit in your tires and everywhere else? We can't just have a pound and tell us about that. This thing has to be just chock full of shit.
No, The only thing that happened was I had a bunch of men's multivitamins in the middle of the console, and then he came back and asked me if those were pills. I'm like, no, these are just multivitamins. And he said, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. And then that was it. But
I guess they probably just figure you're a pretty honest guy if you're going to cop to that.
Yeah.
You know, just let it go.
Yeah. In Dark County, things are different. When I say there's only 5,000 people there, there's like only 5,000 people there. They have to arrest you because of it's the law, but they don't really care. No one cares anymore in Ohio. It's just written in stone that because
how long
actually
did you get for that?
I was in jail for a week, and then because it was my first ever time being arrested, they have kind of a first offenders program in Ohio. You plead guilty, but it kind of goes on the shelf, and then you have to complete your probationary period. And if you do that without getting in trouble anymore, then that doesn't go on your record. So that's what happened is I got put on that probationary period. I was on probation for a year. I only got drug tested once. But what happened was it was probably 3 months after I was on probation, and 5 days before I went to see my probation officer, I got really fucking baked on dabs. I don't know if you know what those are, but I did. And then,
well, just in case somebody listening doesn't know, go ahead and explain.
Oh, okay. Well, what they do, it's called for short dab oil because it just takes a little dab will do you. But they take, anywhere from between a half a pound to a full pound upwards, and they pressurize it using different types of solvents, propane, butane, different things like that to extract upwards of 90-95% pure THC. So what you end up having at the end of the process is just oil that is 90% pure THC, and you have to take a propane torch and heat up this metal nail for like 10-15 seconds until it gets glowing hot red, and then you just take a spoon or put a little bitty, literally
like a dropper.
Yeah, like not even your pinky nail size. Like,
not that I know.
Yes. I've read on Wikipedia. This is,
we'll have a
it's
link
more
in the
effective.
show notes to Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Obviously, you failed that one.
Yeah. Well, what happened was...
Oh, you got through it?
That's what I'd like to know. I don't know if I failed and they just didn't say anything or what, but I know I smoked 5 days before they tested.
Because that had to show up.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus.
And
you just smoke a joint and that's going to show up. You do dabs. I mean, it has to be there.
Yeah.
Unless something chemically changes, and I can't believe that would happen.
Yeah, it was really weird. I feel like they were just, here's this solid guy, told us right where it was. He fessed up to it. We're not going to bust his balls.
Damn. Yeah, you got really lucky on that.
Really lucky. I'm surprised I didn't go back to jail.
Yeah. Holy shit.
With that being said, I feel like everyone should go to jail at least once. It is a good experience. I mean, you learn a lot about yourself and then about just other people.
What'd you learn in there?
I think that even people who don't necessarily, at first glance, you don't think they're making the right decision, so you think that they're making bad decisions, but everyone in jail, for the most part, was just trying to make it through the next day. I wouldn't really say that of course, there are evil people in there that just don't care about other people, but for the most part, the majority of people there were just people who got caught up in certain situations, and I never thought I would go to jail either. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, how can I look at myself and say, oh, I'm better than these people when I'm in the same exact situation they are?
Just did a different mistake.
Yeah. And it just makes you be grateful for what you have. People that care about you and opportunities to better yourself. Because those people in there aren't stupid. Criminals are some of the smartest people there are. They really are. Yeah. And they're not stupid. They just don't have anyone that really cares about them. If you didn't have anyone that cared about you, that wanted to see you live until tomorrow, what reason do you have to not break the law?
So one of the biggest things you learned was just to be more understanding and tolerant of other people, especially when they make mistakes, because everybody screws up sometime. It's just a varying degree of how you screw up and if you got caught and what the punishments were.
That's the thing I told my cousin. He kind of came down on me hard after all that happened. And I'm like, dude, the only difference between me and you is I got caught. That's the only difference. Yeah, it's just real easy for people to judge when they aren't in your shoes.
Have you ever tried melatonin?
Yes.
Okay, that's good stuff. And it's not a drug. It's just, something you take at night, helps you go to sleep, and it gives you really vivid dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure if you tried that or not. It's almost like getting high, but you're asleep. It's good times.
Yeah.
So if you're out there and you want to try something, but you don't want to do anything illegal, melatonin's the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
You just literally sleep it off. It's pretty nice.
First time I tried melatonin was in those, they sell them at the gas stations, the Bob Marley teas.
Mm-hmm.
They have melatonin in them.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
They sell it at Walgreens, like in the supplement section. I think you can get it online, get like 100 for, I bought some, I think it was $1.99.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have problems sleeping at night. I don't get enough sleep, and when I do, it's kind of shitty because I'm getting anywhere from like 3 to 6 hours.
It's the chemical that naturally makes you fall asleep already. It's
like if you turn the lights out in your house and it's just dark, melatonin starts to build, and it's like you said, it's what helps you fall asleep.
Yeah.
So
it's not like Benadryl or something like that. It's
right.
When you wake up, you feel like you got a good night's sleep.
Yeah. If you get enough sleep.
Yeah.
A lot of times I just wake up tired as hell. That's what happens when you get 3 to 6 hours, I guess.
Right.
Well, April Fool's Day was last week. Do you got any April Fool's stories?
I just went to the park and sat in my car and then got really baked.
April Fool's every year, it's just people doing really lame shit on Facebook, and it's very annoying. So I just didn't get on Facebook at all, unless I had to message somebody, and I just use the Messenger app.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
People should just wait until April 2nd one year, not tell anyone. That would be a real April Fool's prank.
There you go.
Or just do it in like August.
No, April Fool's Day was banned in China. I thought that was interesting. I actually thought that was a hoax news story, and it was just an April Fool's story, but it was real. I thought it was kind of strange that they were just like, yeah, April Fool's ain't happening. Sorry, fuckers.
I always thought I would have a better chance of making it over in the Asian lands.
Yeah. Hey, you never know. Well, we're going to get to this week's Dumbass of the Year, and it goes out to an organization instead of a person, the CIA. They left explosives in a school bus that they were using for a training exercise. So congratulations, dumbasses.
That's just a mistake they let us know about.
Exactly.
They feel comfortable letting the American population know they left dynamite on a school bus with kids. Because compared to what they used, other things they've done, that's golden. Like, that's the least of our problems. You should hear about what they don't want you to know.
How would you feel if you're the guy who did that? Like, you get back to the center and you're like, where's the explosive? Oh, fuck, man. We got to go back to that school.
You got to interrupt Miss Nygren's 5th grade class. Tell them we messed up.
That's got to be the shittiest mistake you've ever made at work.
Yeah.
No matter how bad.
He probably didn't even lose his job, though.
Probably not. No matter how bad you fucked up at work, you've never fucked up that bad.
Never have.
Yeah, that's pretty shitty, man.
I just want to know why they were using real explosives for training.
That's a good question. I like that.
What were they practicing for that they needed a school bus for?
I don't know. You know what?
Terrorist takeover on...
This is the first time I've assigned homework on the show, but you find out, and when you come on the radio, you let us know.
April 20th, I'll have all the information you need.
Send them an email. Just get to the heart of it.
Excuse me, sir.
You got anything you want to plug?
Just the great city of Dayton. It's the one and only.
Well, you said you got a couple shows coming up here soon.
Mm-hmm. The first one's Mondays, Rocky's Pizza in Beaver Creek. Really good show, good food, good atmosphere, good time. Then the next one is Wednesday at the Dayton Funny Bone. They're having their showcase open mic. I'm excited for that one as well.
What time do those start?
The one at Rocky's is at 8:30, and the one at the Funny Bone is at 6:30.
Okay.
That's what I like about that one is I don't know why comedy shows start so late on random nights of the week.
And that's usually why most people won't come to see you because they're like, I got to work the next day.
It's hard enough for me to show up to half of this shit when I'm the one performing.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this so late? It's 10:30 on a Tuesday.
I hear you.
It's just, mine's starting bright and early.
That's the earliest I've heard of one starting, 6:30. So make sure you go check those out.
Yeah.
And also check out the website, wedon'thavecookies.com. You can go there, listen to old episodes, check out the photo gallery, contact the show. Plus, we have a donate button now, and we have an Amazon affiliate link. So if you shop on Amazon, just go to the website, click that link, and I get a couple of bucks for whatever you buy, and it doesn't charge you any more. That's a pretty good deal.
It is.
This week on The Life, we got Todd the Fox and Skylar McNeely. That'll be a good time. And by the way, Skylar McNeely was on the show that you were on last time you were on The Life. Yep. And that was the highest downloaded show that we've ever had.
Nice.
So congratulations to you and Skylar.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
We have ate the cookies. People can sense the truthfulness behind all this.
Yeah, it's been upfront and honest the whole way through.
Yeah. Because I just feel like it's one thing to make mistakes. It's another thing to run from them. I mean,
or bullshit around and just blame somebody else. There's a lot of that goes on.
Yeah, just be honest.
And a guy that we've both done a couple of shows with. Next week on the podcast, I'll have Mike Morris.
Nice.
That should be a good show.
It is. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So if you're listening now and you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit subscribe. That way you don't miss any of the shows, and I'll talk to you soon.
Dude, where's my car?
Martin Luther King wasn't gonna do it. You want to battle with? See who's a better pacifist? I fought the caste system, but you still cannot touch this. Slumdog skillionaire, first name Messiah. Rap so hot, I spit yoga fire. Everything you preach, I said it first. You should jot down these words, plagiarize my whole verse. Leave your thoughts on the door, like the real Martin Luther. I'm not thinking you shall overcome this, Junior.
I'm the king of civil rights, from the city to suburbia. No shoes, no shirt, but I'm still gonna serve ya. Make you swallow your words so you can break the fast. And thank God Almighty you can eat at last. I admire the way you broke the British power, but I have a dream that one day you'll take a shower. Like the H in your name, you ought to remain silent. Flatten your style like bread, non-violent.
You would know about bread, Dr. Birmingham sandwich. Boy, got those grits, sit in with some spinach. With Protestant women, the same advice goes. Always stay away from the holes.
I've got so much street cred, they write my name on the sides. I'd bring you for tech support, but I got a Nobel Prize. Nigga, we got more beef than one of your sacred cows, but I'm about to forgive you so hard right now.
I am possibly resisting the fact that you suck. I am celibate because I don't give a fuck.
Hold on! Who's that? Yoga-san!
Before we start this conversation, I want to say I love you.
No matter what happens, I love you too.
But for 4 years we've been dating,
and all our married friends are waiting for us to cross over to the dark side.
But we shouldn't just get married, cause we feel pressure to.
We should do it to get a crock pot that's brand new.
What?
Kidding. This is a big decision and we both must follow through.
And once I have a ring, I can no longer cheat on you.
What?
Kidding. The best way to find out if getting married is right or wrong is by making a list of pros and cons.
This one's pretty shallow. It might sound kind of sick, but I'd love to get hundreds of likes on my engagement pic.
Don't worry about being shallow. My pro is also dumb. It's that you have a better job and we'd have shared income.
After years of bridesmaid dresses, our day would be a must for friends to come together and make it about me.
Us. We'd also get a tax break and we could buy a home. But best of all, our parents would leave us the fuck alone.
The fuck alone.
The fickety fuck alone.
The fuck alone.
No more calls from your mom.
Did you just say my mom?
I think I said my mom.
I think you meant your mom.
I guess I meant my mom.
Your mom. Should we do it? It feels pretty right to me.
Should we do it? Feels like we both agree.
Let's do it.
We'll fit into society.
Should we do it? Let's get married. Should we do it? Get down on one knee.
Should we do it? Will you marry me? Let's do it.
For the rest of our lives.
Hanging all of the time.
Just me and you.
Or maybe 3.
That sounds kinky.
I meant a baby.
Oh.
What did you mean?
Nothing.
I've been asking for years.
Please don't go there.
It's about compromise.
I was making a joke.
You were making a joke?
Yes, I was just making a joke. You know,
did it sound like a joke? It sounded pretty
never
real
gonna
to me.
happen.
It's never gonna happen? You're not gonna bend on this at all. Come on, always no. Right now I think you're perfect, none of your flaws show. But I'm afraid that down the line you might let yourself go.
Of course I'll put on weight. You're lucky you're a male. Because the year before we wed, my diet will be kale. That's all.
Another thing that scares me is we'll be way off course. And by the time we're married, all our friends could be divorced.
It's gonna be a lot of stress, we'll have no money after, and this eliminates my chances of getting on. The Bachelor.
The Bachelorette.
For me it'd be The Bachelor.
But for me, The Bachelorette.
I think it's on tonight.
Did you set the DVR?
Of course I did.
That's why I love you.
I love you too. Should we do it? I wanna be on The Bachelor.
Should we do it? I was joking, but I'm considering the option now.
You should do it. I always said you'd be good on the show.
We should do it. Let's be on The Bachelorette.
Should we do it? All joking aside.
Should we do it? Why is this so hard? If we do it, what does that even mean?
Nothing.
But also something.
For the rest of our lives.
Hanging all of the time.
Just me and you.
Just you and I.
And I like your mom.
And I like your mom too. Before we start this conversation, I want to say I love you. What are we gonna do?
There have been a lot of songs written about love. There have been a lot of songs written in hatred and in spite. But there's never been a song written about how cute I think Asian babies are. And who better to write and sing this song than the one who thinks they're so fascinatingly, adorably cute? Enjoy. I want an Asian baby from Korea or Japan, Vietnam, it doesn't matter, I just want it in my hands. But no one will let me play with their Asian baby. Maybe it's the mustache, maybe it's the way I dress, but every time I approach, the parents get so upset and they won't let me play with their baby. Do I have to steal one? Well, they seem to be always smiling, and their skin, it seems so soft. Want to look into their eyes and get back all the hope I lost. But no one will let me play with their Asian baby. Tell me this! Why won't you let me play with your Asian baby? Why won't you let me play with your Asian baby? Soft little Asian baby, I want to play with your baby. I think you have a special baby. I want to play with your baby. I think I have one more thing to say. I deserve an Asian baby from Korea or Japan. I swear I've been a good boy, just put it in my hands. But no one will let me play with their Asian baby. Baby, baby, Shankaranka Asian baby. Baby, baby, Shankaranka Asian baby. Baby, baby, Shankaranka Asian baby. Baby, baby.